Hi there, I'm Beth, and this week I'm taking part in a collaboration with my dream team friends, Tammy, Marna, and Jay. Our collaboration theme is called Doll Friends Around the World. This was Tammy's idea based on us being from different places around the world. Myself in Scotland, Jay in England, Tammy in Florida, and Marna in Missouri. She suggested that we each be randomly assigned another person's location and that we then make, buy, or just assemble an outfit based on the assigned area that they're from. She said we should do it for any doll type, and I hope you'll watch everyone else's videos to see who is doing which area, but I'll tell you that I was assigned Marna, who lives in Missouri, but comes from the state of South Dakota. I did some research and found it was named after the Dakota Sioux tribe, that it contains 9 American Indian reservations, and is best known for the Black Hills Gold Rush, the Wounded Knee Massacre of 1890, and Mount Rushmore. The culture and clothing of South Dakota is strongly influenced by its agricultural and rural lifestyles. The state is a blending of Native American, pioneer, and Western influences, and the garments they wear aren't just functional, but serve as an expression of their identity, history, and spiritual beliefs. Now, while the average resident isn't going to be walking around dressed like this, I wanted to have my doll's outfit reflect the traditions and heritage of South Dakota. As you can probably tell from my mannequin in these shots, I chose to do a female Blythe doll as my model, and as such researched traditional clothing for women in South Dakota. I was especially taken by the quilled or beaded dresses that were often made from buckskin or other hides and were decorated with intricate beadwork or porcupine quill work. Their ribbon skirts also caught my eye, with colourful ribbons attached to the waistband and hem, and decided to combine elements of both in the dress that you can see me making here. I've tried to recreate this shape of a traditional dress with a fabric that has a kind of suede-like feeling and I think is a nice scale representation of hide. Once I had sketched out the outline that I wanted, I folded the fabric over itself to get a very simple kind of flat pattern to work with. I used a piece of interfacing to finish off the neckline and the back opening, adding some hand stitches to have everything lay nice and flat. I take 2 strips of the same fabric and pull away at the threads to create a nice fringe. I'm going to sandwich these fringed strips at either side of the skirt to further try to recreate the reference image. I'll also be fringing the bottom hems of the dress. Here I've stitched on some beautiful rainbow ribbon, again mimicking the reference images I saw, and I've frayed the hems. Next I'll add some sort of decoration around the neckline, with perhaps some beading as well. I try to make use of the smallest beads I have, which are these seed beads. I rarely have other uses for them, so it's good to get them used here. They're the smallest beads I have, and yet still kind of look a little bulky for this scale, but I've combined them with coloured narrow ribbons, and I think it makes a nice decoration around the top of the dress. The neckline decoration is done. I'll use a heat gun to get rid of the heat erasable pen markings. And I've left a gap so there can be a little overlap for a loop and button closure here. I think it's looking really nice, but still needs something around the waist. So I take some of this trimming, which isn't quite a ribbon, more like webbing or strapping, and I will machine embroider a nice design across the length of it. I'll finish it off by hand stitching on some more seed beads, and I'll add a snap closure for the back. There we go. I think it looks really nice with the dress, in keeping with the colour theme, and brings it all together. Next up, I'm going to make her some moccasin shoes. Again, I looked up reference images of Sioux Indian moccasins, which are insanely intricately beaded, something that I just know I cannot recreate at this scale. There's just no way. So I'm going to use the same outer fabric as the dress and try to draft my own sewing pattern for them by wrapping masking tape around some of my 3D printed shoe lasts, which are available if you're interested at bethramsden.com. Once I've drawn my pattern shapes and cut them out of the masking tape, I transfer them to paper, and these are the shapes I have. I transfer them onto the back of the same fabric I used for the dress and outline them in fray check, allowing it to dry fully before I cut the pieces out. So I've got really nice, crisp, clean edges. I've got these thick cardboard soles held onto the bottom of the last with a little bit of blue tack, and the rough order of assembly will be joining the back seam of these upper pieces, just a whip or blanket stitch, and I'll be attaching that to the sole, and we'll be then adding this toe upper piece, again whip stitched before adding decoration. I glued felt to the outer bottoms of the soles, trimming them close to the edges to give me something to stitch into for the upper. Here you see all the tiny stitches around the sole, and next I'll attach that upper toe. It does look a little handmade, but I do hope it conveys the spirit of what I'm going for here. I fold over the cuffs at the back of the shoes and cut them into fringes, gluing them down a little so they hold their shape, and then finally add some more seed beads around the toes of the shoes, folding down the sort of forward flaps as well to try to recreate the reference I saw. One final touch for my South Dakota girl is this embroidered and beaded headband. I really loved the pattern I was able to get from my sewing machine, and depending on what hairstyle I have for her, I've actually added a few different closure positions for the snap at the back. I wonder what you think of all these pieces so far. And let me just quickly say welcome and thank you to the newest member of my Patreon, QT. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you very much all for your additional support over there. Now, we don't usually do this, but I did send a picture of my finished Blythe doll outfit to Marna in advance to get her opinion. Being of Native American descent herself, I wanted to check that everything seemed right and respectful, and she was absolutely delighted with it. So I really hope that you all are as well, and I can't wait to see what everyone else has come up with. I can't wait to see what the representation of Scotland will look like and which dolls everyone has used. So please make sure that you check out the links in the description box below for Marna of Dolls Rescued, Tammy from Peacecraft Dolls, and Jay of J Dolls UK. I would be very grateful if you would leave each of us a like and a nice comment on our videos to let us know what you liked best about them, or just to say hi. Thanks again to my lovely friends for joining me in today's Doll Friends Around the World collaboration. And thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.